It's OTA Minicamp season, and we're going back to the Tennessee Titans and going back to Cam Ward. The Titans dropped some clips on him. We're going to take a look at that. Plus, I got some older clips I'm throwing in there so we can watch them and talk some ball. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at practice, rookie camp, OTAs, minicamp, soon-to-be training camp, workouts between then. Everything you're seeing from your players behind the scenes is going to be here at practice. You're going to want to be on the know of your rookies, your vets, the guys you're looking to draft on your fantasy teams. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're looking at Cam Ward today. I got 5 minutes of clips. The first 30-second-ish range is the new ones from yesterday. But we're going to fire these up, keep talking ball, loop them too if we need to. But there we are. Yesterday, boom, gets it out quick. That's one thing. Assertive is what I'm seeing in these clips. Bam, getting it out. Again, they're picked out. They're for a highlight package, but still. I'm going over highlight packages from social media this year as well. Those were from yesterday. Here's some of the rookie camp clips and some of the last week or earlier OTA footage as well, all mixed in together. Beats good, but we're really seeing him acclimate very well. Just assert himself into the picture of practice. Looking very calm and poised. There we are. He's got good feet. Like, he's got smooth footwork, a good bounce in his step. Gets it out. I've watched some of these a bunch of times. Stepping up. Boom. Gets it. Getting it out there. We should have more OTA footage of the Titans throughout the week. What I'm noticing from these teams is a lot of the OTAs are under the radar. They're not allowing the beats get a lot of footage, but they'll have like one day where they get a bunch. So imagine we're going to have a day where we get a bunch of Cam Ward. So that's going to be soon, I bet. That's either today, tomorrow, maybe Friday, somewhere this week. Feet's good. What I like about Cam Ward is he's very stoic. He's very reserved. He's smart. He's fast on his feet when you're talking to him in interviews. And why is that important? It's leadership qualities, and it's also like you can tell, and it gives you a gateway into how mature he is as a person. Like when you talk to him and you're messing around with him, a la when he's talking with Sure, you can't get him off point. You just can't get him off focus. It's a good quarterback prospect. I think when people talked about him in the media, when they were looking at him, analyzing him, I don't think they knew what to do with him. We had 2 years at Washington State where we were very good. Still telling the rock very well, very accurate, getting the ball out there, spraying the ball all over the field. And then we go to Miami. And the big picture of Miami, middle of the year last year, was that they were back. They were competitive. They were looking good. Miami was looking good last year. And you look at the weapons he had. We had some good players. Damian Martinez, stud running back. Falls in this year's draft, 7th round. You also got Restrepo. He's on Titans. Didn't get drafted, but we did have an injury come up while running a 40 or right before the 40 during his pro day that made him run a very bad number on his pro day. That might have impacted that. That being said, it's not like he was playing with big-time weapons. He's playing with a good team. You have good tight ends there. You got Elijah Arroyo. You got some other tight ends there to look at. That's also of note. Lofton. Miami's stacked with talent. They're always stacked with talent. They're always bringing in wide receivers in the recruiting process with tons of upside. They got more coming in. But you're looking at Ward here. He was the top get out of the transfer portal. Top player overall. One of the top players overall. I'm not backing that up too much. It's just my memory's kind of hazy, but I just remember being super excited about the transfer portal. Cam Ward, where's he going to go? Watching it every day, waiting for the news. Everybody was waiting on the news where he was going to go because there's going to be a college football team out there that's going to land a new quarterback with tons of upside that could get them over the hump. It could have went to Ohio State. He could have been there. He could have got a natty. He did not go there. He went to Miami. And honestly, that team got a lot better with him. That team got a lot better with him. And Washington State is producing quarterbacks. Watch Oklahoma and John Mateer. John Mateer comes in Cam Ward's shoes, lights it up. lights it up. We're going to Oklahoma. Everybody's excited about that. Interesting, different story, though. Oklahoma's trying to retool to fight in SEC. We'll see how that looks like. It's different than going to Miami. Miami, though, Cam Ward, they took care of him. It was a good fit. But what I like about him, throws off platform, can play off script. If the play's breaking down, slips to the side, gets the ball out. Fast mental processor. Can make plays happen downfield, sprays it around, can make all the throws. I think he's vastly underrated. I think the big story about this, can the Titans rebuild? They really wasn't in position to really get many players around them. They weren't really in this year's draft. They had to draft him in the first. And then it was a weaker wide receiver draft. It was less talent there. So maybe over the next few years, we add more depth and talent at wide receiver. We picked up a 4-3 guy in the draft. We do have some talent there, but it's very ambiguous compared to a lot of other teams. We got Restrepo there, so we got some continuity already on the team. I look for Restrepo to hold it down on the depth chart and maybe climb it up a little bit. But I also look for this team to keep adding wide receivers. I just do. You draft your quarterback, you bring in wide receivers, offensive linemen, whatever it is to help keep him going, to help boost his production. So next year, next offseason, I expect them to build around him. I expect this to be more than this year. And what I like about him, poised, calm, collected. I think the media did not know what to do about him because he wasn't this quarterback where we were waiting for him to come out for the draft throughout his entire collegiate career. He wasn't a high-end 4-star or 5-star. He wasn't this. We play at the FCS level. We ball out. We go to Washington State. We ball out back-to-back over 3,000-yard seasons. Now we go to Miami. We play well there. We get them over the hump. We're watching them on Saturdays, and they're contending. They're looking good. The bowl game is probably your biggest question on him. But honestly, everything else you see, there it is. See the arm angle change a little bit on that one? Quarterback is the hardest position to predict. One of his biggest things about him is he's proven he can go from school to school to school, from level to level to level to level, and immediately produce. He's proven he can quickly download a system, learn his coaches, allow his coaches to trust him quickly in a system, and become the guy. He has proven that multiple times. We're taking over this offense. Will Levis isn't going to be an issue. I know social media tried to prop that up, and I debunked that, and it's not really a hard debunk. It's common sense. But common sense isn't really there on social media. Anybody can talk on there, and it gets out of hand. But again, people who are too busy working their 9 to 5s, that becomes like 9 to 8s, and they're hard at work, and they come to the channel. Sometimes you got to do content to help people out. Like, they don't have time for that, and they come across those social medias during the lunch break, and they're like, what? Not real. And then you have to help them out with a video or two. That's why I do that. That's why plus I have fun. I like making fun of things. I like making fun of people and things when it gets outlandish. Not directly, but the take is Will Levis doesn't have a chance. You're talking about Will Levis couldn't get it done at Penn State. We go to Kentucky, and really, he's got a strong arm. Very strong arm, very nasty arm to him, can push it downfield. He had the chance to take steps forward and develop to his game. Never happened. But honestly, excuse after excuse during the draft process. Offensive line, what if we had this? What if we had that? What if we had better wide receivers, even though he had Barron there? Honestly, Will Levis, if you have to make excuses for a prospect, like what if this, what if that, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. He's got all the tools, and you would have saw more if it wasn't for this. That's a red flag. You're looking at Ward. He played at FCS level. Then he played at Washington State. Then he goes to Miami. And every time he leveled up, every time he got better, Will Levis had to level out of Penn State and go to Kentucky. And he had to fall out of the first round. A lot of people in the media had him predicted going the first round, and he was going in mocks with big-time media, top 10. They thought he was going to go in that range, and he falls out. These quarterbacks fall out of drafts because big media does not really study them appropriately. And now you're looking at Cam Ward, and you're like, maybe the media is whiffing on him. Maybe the the NFL's telling you something. Maybe the Titans are telling you something like, hey, there's a little bit more here than what you think. I did that video. It was about a month and a half ago. I went over all his interviews, and I had to discard a lot of interviews because I went through all his interviews. And I'm going to tell you this, very stoic kid. This guy holds his emotions well, and he's very mature, very methodical with his mouth. And this is a very smart kid that can think on the fly in interviews, which means he's poised, calm, collected, and that means interactions with coaching staff and meetings. He's going to be poised, calm, collected, thinking on his feet, downloading information that's going to allow him to develop quickly there in between the ears, or at least potential to do so. That's why I analyze interviews on those players, because it gives you good insight. You analyze what they're doing behind the scenes, what they did at press conferences after the college games when things went bad, or if things are going bad on the field. Did they lose their stoicism? He didn't. He really didn't. He had that moment where he's just standing there stiff on the field and he threw that a couple balls. Just chill. But honestly, you're looking at a guy here that got it done in multiple different ways for multiple different teams. Cam Ward's a very exciting player. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.